Hey everybody, this is Sherry with Cards and More by Sherry and the Supply Garden, here for our 12 Days of Christmas Day 2. Today we're going to make something called the 2468 box, and these make great little boxes for gifts, trinkets, candy, whatever, and you can make them kind of any size that you want as long as you stay within an 8.5 inch width. For instance, this is the one we're going to make, and we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 6 by 8.5. I also made this one, same exact style, but I made this from an 8.5 inch square, and as you can see, you just get a taller box, and that's the only difference that you're going to get. You're not going to get anything wider unless you work with different dimensions, and then you can't call it 2468, and you'll see why. But these are great little boxes for candy, trinkets, presents, all kinds of little goodies, and we're making Christmas themed ones today, as you can see. So this is the one that we're going to make, so let's get started on that one. Put these off to the side. As I said, you're going to start with a piece of cardstock or pretty paper, whatever you want to use, that is 6 by 8.5. You'll see a lot of people use 5.5 by 8.5, which is fine because then you can get two from an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So whatever you want to do. I'm working with a directional design, so make sure that you take that into account how you cut your paper so that you don't end up with upside down stuff, which is normally what I would do, but I actually thought about it before I cut this. Yay me! So 6 by 8.5 on the 8.5 inch side is where we're going to get the name of the box. We're going to score it at 2, 4, 6, and 8. That'll leave you with a little 1/2 inch strip here at the end. Okay? Then on the 6 inch side, and again, keep in mind if this is directional paper, whatever is the bottom of your design is where you want to make your 2 inch score on the 6 inch side. So we'll score this at 2, and we'll call that good. Now I did want to show you this box, as you can see, has a different top. I've done a pretty punch on that. If you want to do something like this, you need to make an additional score or mark. Okay, we made our 2 inch score here. If you want to put a decorative top punch on there, you want to just lightly score at 1 inch, at a 1 inch increment on the other side, and then you're going to cut away the sides so you can punch the front and back, and I'll show you that as we get into it. Okay, so for this one we're not going to do that, so we're done with our scoring. So what you have is, along the bottom you have your 2 inch line, and you're going to cut up on these intersecting lines on each of the 2468 lines, and then your 1/2 inch piece here at the end, you're just going to cut that completely away. So I'll get some bigger scissors so I can do this a little bit faster. And you can use two-sided paper if you want and change the way the top of your box is so that you could see the inside if you wanted to. There's all kinds of options. You could even punch a circle window on the front panel, and then you could back that with some acetate or something, and then fill the package with something pretty, either some pretty candies or some bath salts or something that would show through that window. Oops, I didn't cut that one very square, but that's all right. All right, so then let's go ahead and let's crease and burnish those fold lines, and you can do this either before or after cutting. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever your personal preference is. There's that little 1/2 inch tab where we've cut away the bottom. Do these flaps. It would be actually easier if you did this ahead of time, but you know, sometimes I do things backwards. Y'all should be learning that by now. Okay, now on your 1/2 inch piece here on the end, on the whatever is the same as the front pattern paper, you want to put some adhesive tape here. I'm going to use 1/2 inch score tape. You could use sticky strip. I would use something fairly strong, that will keep your box shut. I'll be using just ATG on the bottom flaps, but again, if you were going to put something fairly heavy in it, you might want to use a stronger adhesive. Okay, now leave your Scotch tape on there for right now. Then we're going to fold up every other one, and this is just how I do it. Again, you could do it however you want. I'm going to put adhesive on this one, and on this one. And then you're going to see how our box is going to come together here. I didn't. Look at that. It's not behaving. Imagine that. Let's try this again. There we go. It helps if there actually is adhesive there. Okay, then put some on this one here. And again, this is a quick and easy project. Goes together quick. You can make a lot of them in nothing flat. Like I said, if you make them 5.5 by 8.5, you can get 2 from an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So this is an economical way if you're making lots of goodies for a school party, an office party, a dinner party. And let's say you want one of these sitting at every place setting. You can whip these up in nothing flat, put some little dinner mints in them, and you've got a great little takeaway for your guests. Okay, so we have adhesive here, here, and on the inside here. So what we're going to do is bring our box together now. And bring this one in. And you want to try to keep your edges together as much as you can. And these are going to go over this one. Okay. Now's the time when you want to take your liner off of whatever adhesive you've used. And this is going to tuck to the inside. Hopefully get lined up straight. There we go. And then this just simply folds over to the bottom. Then I like to take my bone folder and go inside where that adhesive is and burnish that really good so I know that I've got some good contact there. Okay? And there's your little box. Basically, that's all there is to it. Where you have your seam, see that in the back? Okay, on these opposite sides, you're just going to push in, and that's how you form your box. Now, I will say, when I was wandering around Pinterest and stuff the other day, that I saw one of these that rather than pinch these in, they pushed it out like this and put like a circle or some kind of tab over this, and then you could see like that crinkly stuff you put in baskets kind of coming up out of there. So you could do it that way if you wanted to. I just always push mine in and do it that way. Okay? So there's basically all there is to our box. Now at this point, you could punch holes and do ribbon here like I did on this one. This is a faux bow, by the way. I've punched 2 holes. If you've never done this before, this is how you do it. You punch 2 holes, you thread your ribbon from front to back, both sides, then you crisscross, whoopsie, on the back and come back through the opposite holes and trim your ends. That secures your bag shut, and it looks like you've tied a little bow there. Okay, so that's a faux bow. That's how that one's done. You could punch a hole, you could do a ribbon that went this way, all kinds of different things. We're going to finish ours with a little topper, which I've pre-done for time's sake. I've cut a 1 3/4 inch scallop circle from the same paper that we used for the box, and then I've cut a 2 3/8 inch scallop from a coordinating solid color cardstock, sorry. And then we're just going to mat those together. Now, the other one that I did didn't come out even when I folded it in half, but that's okay. Now you could score this in half, or you could just do like I do and fold it in half. And then crease it down and burnish it. And that's what's going to go across the top and close our bag. Now, if you were really, really concerned about this thing closed, you could staple it. You could put some glue dots in here and then pinch those together. There's all different kinds of ways. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this just across here. We're going to, where is it? There it is. Sorry. Take one of these teeny weeny little clothespins, stick it on here. Alright? And that's all I'm using to keep it closed. If you don't think that's secure enough, then add, some additional adhesives or a staple. Then what I've taken is just a little Merry Christmas stamp. This is a 3/4 inch punch on a 1-inch mat. Then I'm going to take in this instance, my crocodile, and punch a 1/8 inch hole in the top of this. You could just, if you were using a smaller string or something, you could just paper pierce it. Then I have some pretty ombre twine. It's really not Christmassy, but it kind of picks up the blues and the greens of the paper that I use. I'm going to send it right through the hole that I punched here. And then, so that it doesn't slide off the top of my bag, I'm going to go through the little spring hole in my clothespin so that it stays secure and doesn't slide off. Now, I'm using very thick twine and a very small clothespin. Dang it, it worked fine when I did this sample. Come on now, little twine, pretty please. Okay, let's try the other end. I may just have to show you the finished one so you can see that it really does work. There we go. Right through like that. Then decide however far you kind of want that to hang down on the front of your bag. You can't see what I'm doing. And then I just tied a bow, as I did here on this one. So there you have the finished project of a super simple little bag, box bag, whatever you want to call it. Again, you could punch this out, put acetate on the back so you have kind of a see-through window. Make them different heights, but these are great, quick projects to help you get through a busy holiday season. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to leave something in the comments if you have a question at all. I appreciate you joining me today. I hope that you will like and subscribe to my channel, and be sure to stay tuned for day 3 and the subsequent days for my 12 days of Christmas. Thanks everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.